there was brothers. They betrayed each other.
This mine will happen. This was the God that buried this treasure for us. Nobody will stop us.
My forefathers died for this land. If I'm gonna die, I will not be the first one.
This has happened many times in many centuries as families. But that doesn't change that Nodle is my cousin.
The president announced the king, our king in Pondoland, was deposed.
As Pondos, it's just only for us to decide who's supposed to be a king.
Beautiful, beautiful pictures. Now, the South African film The Short Break won a prestigious Backsberg Audience Choice Award at the Encounter South African International Documentary Festival in the category of Best South African Film. The award-winning documentary film follows the dilemma faced by a rural community in the southern Wild Coast. We are joined this morning by co-producer Odette Geldenhuys from our Cape Town studio to share more on the film and their award. Odette, thank you very much. Congratulations on your award. What does that say in its own right? It's still being premiered all over the place and it's already winning awards.
Thanks very much. I think what it says is that, and what's particularly important about this award is that it was an audience award, is that audiences are responding to this film. And what makes this film so attractive is that it deals with quite serious issues, like the issue of what is development, but by doing it through this human vehicle of the feud between two cousins.
That human vehicle and the way just the scope of the cinematography and how it's been put together, it just speaks to absolutely a beautiful visual experience. How important was that? Because when you're dealing with the human element, you can get down and gritty and just tell a story straight, but you've chosen a way that not only shows the landscape, but shows the work of the people.
Absolutely. So I think what is very visually important about this southern part of, of the Wild Coast is that it is just one of those unspoiled, one of those most beautiful spots in the entire world. And so what the community has to deal with is how do they keep that and deal with the impact of potential mining in the future.
Why the story through the eyes from their respective cousins, though? Why through this feud?
Because this is the reality, what happens when a community, whether they're on the south coast of South Africa or in any other part of the world, when they have to grapple with these questions of what is development and how do they develop their own area, is that it causes conflict, not in a broad political sense, but really on the ground in a community.
I might argue, and many people will agree, that what you've done here is maybe put a spotlight on an issue that is affecting communities throughout South Africa and maybe in parts of the world, because internationally it has been received very well.
Absolutely. So, what we are, I think what you're saying rightly touches on is an issue that is happening all around the world. And so what the film says is that when one looks at development, one has to look at it from very many different angles. But very importantly, I think crucially, is firstly from the point of the people who will be affected by it. And so people who are developers, people who are in the sort of this business of the extractive industries, they talk of this concept of free, prior and informed consent. And so this film really takes it away from concepts, takes it away from politics and says, as a community, how does one grapple with information that's given to one in order to make lifelong decisions about one's future?
I want to congratulate you again, because I think you've touched on a serious issue, but you've told it in such a way that anybody around the world, whether you're a fan of this kind of documentary style, will appreciate the story. You've now, in 2013, was part of the Durban Film Art. You're now co-premiering it at DIV. Talk to me. How's the team feeling about the way this documentary has been received, this film has been received, and the future plans for it?
Fantastic. So as you say, we're on our way to the Durban International Film Festival, which is later this month in July, starting on the 16th. We've had, just really such heartwarming and beautiful responses in places like Toronto. After DIF, the film is going to different parts of the world. One of the places that I might want to mention is it's going to Iceland. But also very importantly for us, and is that the film is being part of an outreach campaign. And what that means is that we, together with non-profit organizations, are taking the film to different communities where these issues that's being highlighted in the film are being discussed. People are seeing to what extent does it apply to them, to what extent does it inform the kinds of discussions that they would like to have in their own communities.
Odette, we're going to leave it there, but thank you very much for joining us from our Cape Town studios, and we wish you loads of success with the Shore Break, which was a project of the 2013 Durban Film Art. Will have its co-premiere at the 36th Durban International Film Festival, otherwise known as DIF, on July the 18th, with 4 screenings, which will run from July 16 to 26. Later on, we'll speak to the director of DIF to get an overall view of the 36th edition of the gathering. You can only imagine. Stay tuned to Morning Live with